Wow, can you believe it? Bonnie Raitt's Grammy win caught everyone by surprise. Her name wasn't exactly on top of the predictions list, especially when stacked against massive records that have become cultural landmarks. And yet, there she was, taking home one of music's most prestigious awards. It's safe to say that the shock was universal, Bonnie included. But here's the thing. Bonnie's rise to fame has never followed the usual script, and that Grammy win was just one chapter in a story full of unexpected twists. Let's take a closer look at her journey because, trust me, this isn't your typical tale of chasing stardom. Bonnie Raitt, born on November 8, 1949, in Burbank, California, grew up surrounded by music. Her father, John Raitt, was a Broadway legend with a commanding voice, starring in timeless productions like Oklahoma and The Pajama Game. Her mother, Marge Goddard, was an accomplished pianist who filled their home with beautiful melodies. But here's the twist: despite being surrounded by so much musical talent, Bonnie wasn't eager to join her mom at the piano. In fact, her mother's skill was so intimidating that Bonnie chose to steer clear of it altogether. It's surprising, isn't it? You'd think growing up in a musical household would ignite her passion immediately, but Bonnie's relationship with music was far from simple. It wasn't just about love for the craft. It was a mix of admiration, struggles, and, yes, even moments of frustration. Her love for music didn't emerge in the way you might imagine. While most kids were jamming out to the latest pop tunes, Bonnie found herself captivated by the beatniks and their unapologetically rebellious vibe. It was the height of the counterculture movement, and Bonnie was drawn to its freedom and edge. She even let her hair grow long to match the cool, nonconformist aesthetic. But it wasn't just a fashion statement. Bonnie was tapping into something much deeper, something that would profoundly shape her music and her identity in the years ahead. Then came Christmas, 1957. Bonnie, just 8 years old, unwrapped a gift that would change her life forever: a Stella guitar. Now, let's be clear, this wasn't just any ordinary toy. The Stella was the kind of guitar that blues legends like Robert Johnson and Led Belly had once strummed. Can you imagine the significance of that moment? Little Bonnie didn't fully understand the weight of it at the time, but it's almost as if the blues found her before she even realized what it meant. Fast forward to those magical summers at Camp Regis in the Adirondack Mountains. Picture this: a teenager surrounded by towering trees, serene lakes, and the sound of music in the air. For Bonnie, this was where she truly began to shine. Camp counselors encouraged her to perform for her peers, and those intimate performances helped her find her voice and build her confidence. By the age of 15, Bonnie was already immersed in the folk revival scene, spending countless hours listening to folk albums and honing her guitar skills. She was falling deeper and deeper into the world of music, but it was the blues that would eventually capture her soul. The real turning point came in 1964, when Bonnie discovered the album Blues at Newport, 1963. It was like a lightning bolt. Featuring some of the most iconic blues artists of the time, the album lit a spark in her heart and fueled her obsession with the genre. That passion led her to master the slide guitar, a technique that would later become her signature and set her apart in the music industry. And then, in 1969, Bonnie took a leap of faith that few would dare to make. She left behind a promising academic path at Radcliffe College to pursue her love of blues music. It was a bold move, but for Bonnie, it wasn't just a choice, it was a calling. What happened next was the stuff of dreams. She crossed paths with Dick Waterman, a blues manager known for reviving the careers of legends like Son House and Mississippi Fred McDowell. Waterman immediately saw her raw talent and took her under his wing. Before she knew it, Bonnie was sharing the stage with icons like Son House and John Lee Hooker, true giants of the blues. Imagine that, going from a college student to performing alongside the very legends who shaped the music you love. Fast forward to 1971, and Bonnie Raitt's debut album, Bonnie Raitt, hit the shelves. Critics were quick to praise her distinctive style, especially her impressive mastery of the bottleneck guitar. But despite the glowing reviews, the album didn't catapult her to stardom. Her second album, Give It Up, followed with equally strong acclaim, but still failed to achieve commercial success. For a while, it seemed like Bonnie might become one of those artists beloved by critics, but overlooked by the mainstream. Then, in 1977, everything changed. Enter Sweet Forgiveness, her breakthrough album that featured a reimagined version of Runaway. While critics weren't entirely sold, listeners were captivated by the track's rhythm and blues vibe, influenced by the soulful sounds of Al Green. The song resonated with audiences, and just like that, Bonnie became a household name. And let's not forget the real showstopper, Bonnie's slide guitar. At a time when women guitarists weren't often celebrated, Bonnie shattered expectations, proving she could hold her own with the best of them. Her talent earned her widespread respect in the music world, and by 1975, she'd landed on the cover of Rolling Stone. It was a defining moment, solidifying her status as a force to be reckoned with. But as Bonnie's career soared, her personal life took a darker turn. Immersed in the blues scene of the 1970 SA, world infamous for its heavy drinking, Bonnie found herself slipping into a dangerous lifestyle. What began as a casual nod to the blues life evolved into a serious struggle with alcohol. By the 1980s, her drinking spiraled out of control, threatening her health and career. Late nights, wild parties, and self-destructive habits became the norm. Then came the turning point. In 1987, after hitting rock bottom, her motivation? Nothing short of iconic. She wanted to collaborate with Prince. She realized that to work alongside someone of his caliber, she needed to clean up her act. Sobriety wasn't easy, but it was transformative. Bonnie shed the weight both literally and metaphorically, regaining her health and confidence. And then came 1989. Nick of Time, her first album after getting sober, was released. At first, it didn't create much buzz, but then, magic happened. In February 1990, the Grammy Awards became her moment to shine. Bonnie took home 3 awards, including the coveted Album of the Year. It was the ultimate comeback story, proving that sometimes hitting rock bottom is just the start of a climb to new heights. Nick of Time went from being a quiet release to a monumental success. By April 1990, the album climbed to the #1 spot on the charts and eventually sold an astonishing 5 million copies in the U.S. alone. It was the little album that could, and just like that. But the momentum didn't stop there. In 1991, Bonnie released Luck of the Draw, which became her most successful album to date. Selling over 7 million copies in the U.S. alone, the album resonated deeply with fans. One of its standout tracks, Still Burning Bright, held a special place in Bonnie's heart. She dedicated the emotional ballad to her late friend Stevie Ray Vaughan, whose tragic death in a helicopter crash left an indelible mark on her. The song became both a tribute and a testament to the bonds forged through music. Fast forward to 2000, and Bonnie's legacy was cemented when she was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a moment that recognized her extraordinary contributions to music. And in 2022, she received the Icon Award at Billboard's Women in Music event, proving that her influence continues to grow. But Bonnie's impact goes beyond her music. She's a cultural powerhouse, using her platform to advocate for causes close to her heart, from the crisis in Ukraine to environmental activism. Bonnie Raitt is the real deal. After decades in the industry, she's still inspiring fans and breaking barriers. Her journey is one of resilience, transformation, and an unwavering love for music that transcends awards and accolades. So, what about you? Are you a longtime fan of Bonnie's incredible journey, or are you just now discovering her music? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you're as inspired as I am, don't forget to hit that like button.